Good morning. How is everyone doing in these wild and crazy times? I am doing okay. Not great. I just feel a little lost right now. Feel a little untethered. I jumped on the computer. I haven't made a video in a while. I haven't felt inspired enough. I am circling the news, not engaging in it, because that doesn't serve me any purpose to be distracted by the events going on in our world. I am a light worker, a freedom fighter, a truth seeker, patriot, and I wear many other hats. And it just feels like we have been in this, the longest inhale I have ever experienced in my life. I'm not sure how you are experiencing these times. If you are an awakened soul, which what that means is you are aware that we live in a society that global, if not 99% of the planet. It's probably cultures and human groups that we don't even know exist on our planet that are not cabled into this 3D matrix. And we will soon learn of them, I'm sure, if they're not behind that ice wall up in Antarctica or the Arctic, or much of this world, I am sure, has not been fully explored. I do believe the planet is larger than our scientists lead us to believe it is. Oh, and by the way, my name is Paula. I'm an author. My author name is PB Moreland. I have a website, pbmoreland.com, if you're interested in discovering more about my books. But I have been pretty, I'll use the word lackadaisical lately. I haven't really touched base with my higher self, my guides, my soul. I have just felt compelled to do daily routines. I just haven't felt very connected. And I don't judge that. I just observe and be the best person I can possibly be. I am staying out of the demonizing narrative of the individuals who find it necessary to celebrate the passing of a young man who was just speaking his truth. He, husband and a father, patriot, political activist, author. And, he was taken young, and it's no surprise, which is really sad to say. But it is what it is. But there are those who feel it their job to be gleeful about it and to videotape themselves celebrating it. That is, to me, that's insane and it's demonic. However, our job as freedom fighters, as light workers, starseeds, is just to feel the glory of every cell of our body in alivement. Just made that word up. Many videos I've made over the last few months, and I know I'm in shadow, so forgive me. I just threw open the laptop and just started to share with you. And I didn't take interest in how the lighting was or those such things because, in my opinion, If you're drawn to listen to any of my videos, it's not to see me or judge my background or wonder why I'm not paying more attention to the quality of the video, but to just accompany me in my energy as I accompany you in yours while you're watching this. This is how the nature of technology works. And if you feel so compelled to watch my videos, to listen even for a few seconds, I invite you into the sacred chamber. And if you feel inclined to subscribe, there's a little dragon icon down here. You can just click that. You can click the like button. You can share this video. You can leave a comment. I am a growing YouTube channel. At this point, I'm quite small, but that's not important. What's important to me is to reach out to any of those of you who are in a place in your life where you have many questions, or you feel helpless, or you feel hopeful, or you feel hopeless, but you know that there's a bigger picture. You understand that our dollar, we are at what, $32 trillion in debt. Our nation and the Federal Reserve is struggling. If you understand this is part of the grand awakening where the dollar itself is corrupt, the nature of it behind it. And it's not a bad idea to reinvest in some earth metals. It's a very good idea. It's just called wealth protection. It's not trying to be wealthy. It's not going to turn you into a millionaire. If that is your plan, that's your game, you go for it. But if you are understanding how systems are collapsing around us quickly, and we as sovereign citizens of this planet have a right to exist in freedom and beauty and love and community and health, and not have to worry about walking down the street and speaking our truth in a loving, compassionate way. This is our birthright, and it was taken away from us thousands of years ago. There is so much behind this story. And right now, for those of us who are awake to this manipulation, this distortion, it's weighing down on us. However, it's really our job to continue with our head high, our hearts open, not to lead with our chin, meaning that's the analogy that you don't want to run into the ring for a boxing match unprepared. I have a family who does not at all resonate with where I'm at in my understanding of global events and how I know our president has our backs. This is not a political statement. This is an alliance that has been formed for decades. And President Trump happened to be the one that they approached, this alliance, in the early part of this century, because this is an individual who is of high moral standards. And he has subsequently, since he chose to run for office a decade ago, completely thrown under the bus, because there are those who are terrified of him because he is not part of their plan. And so I am so, what's the word? I just know that we are going in the right direction. Everything that's happening across the planet, in all countries, needs to occur. The military, the Guard in DC and Chicago and probably Maryland, Baltimore next, and the subsequent 17 cities that are on a list that you can find anywhere now. They're not only to control the criminal activity on the streets, but to clear out all the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases that have been corrupt and heinous acts for hundreds of years. You can explore that on your own. You can explore all of this that I'm talking about. It is no secret, but it's coined conspiracy theories from those in the journalist world, those reporters who are CIA intelligence officers. Again, you can discover that for yourself. These things I know to be true. I also know to be true that I'm a sovereign being. I am a galactic visitor from my home star system is Andromeda. I'm also a dragon. I have a dragon lineage. I have Lyran lineage, Orion, Sirian, Pleiadian, Mintakan, many, many, many systems I've been through as a soul before I came here and landed in the 1958, was born as part of that first wave of starseeds who are here to hold the line. And it is not easy because of the misrepresentation that many souls are given by those who are clinging to a way of life that no longer is appropriate on this planet. And so here I sit in my house, very grateful for my home, grateful for my neighborhood and the land that I live upon that called me here. I am grateful for who I am, for being Paula. I'm grateful for the fact that I have a story to share with my crystal blue stories. I'm grateful that I have a cup of coffee. I'm grateful that the sun is out today. I'm grateful for my healthy body. And hey, just to share, I'll just tell you this. There is a narrative out there in the voices of the disclosure community who seem to feel it is necessary or victorious for them to wave the flag that they were not vaccinated. That was a very scary time for many of us, the COVID scare. I know the backstory of it. I'm fully aware of its manipulated release. But at the time, I went against my nature and had the first 2 rounds of the vaccination. I did this for my family. I did this for some friends. When I sat there and took the shot, I talked to my body. And I said, I'm doing this, but this is not going to affect my health. It will not affect my health. And I basically talked to my body as the chemicals were released into my system. And I don't think I need to share what happened within 24 hours, but I know it was all flushed out. I reacted not well to those vaccinations. First one, I think I got a really nasty cold. Didn't get really ill like some folks did. And the second round, I don't remember, didn't take me down like the first. But I do, yes, it did. Excuse me. I got a real bad stomach. My stomach was really sour this was a week afterwards. But during that whole time, I reminded my body how sovereign it is. Every cell of my body is sovereign. I can heal. I am healed. I have the ability to heal. I bring this up now because I feel it is important for those of us who are wide awake that receive that vaccination to not be in fear of where it could take us, because those narratives are out there. I do resonate with the truth that there are many that were negatively affected by that vaccination. I might have been part of the group that was given a saline solution. I went into a clinic. I don't put judgment on this because everybody did what they thought was right. Yes, it was probably not a good idea. But for those speakers out there who are belittling many who went and got the vaccination as dim-witted, or they call them libtards, or all of these names, I just don't appreciate. And I'm not liberal. I'm not, I call myself a patriot only because I love my country. I'm not left wing. I'm not right wing. I like to sit in an eagle's nest and observe. What I do notice is that both sides of these political parties that have driven this country for hundreds of years are not high intentioned beings. They don't have the love of humanity in their hearts for every single being on the planet, whether they are viewed as evil or benevolent. There is still a necessary action for a human to forgive other humans because they are doing what they think is right, whether I agree with it or not. I don't have to play along with their game if I don't feel what they're doing is of the highest interest of humanity and any living being, whether it's human or whether it's animal, the planet itself. I am here as the caretaker for myself first, and then anyone else who chooses to be part of my world. I resonate at a particular frequency, and it repels many because I happen to be of a nature that my frequency is high. It's very high, and it unsettles many people. They don't know this, they're not aware of this, but they tend to turn away. I have a very small circle of friends, even my family, and I'm the one that sometimes chooses to um, not be in solitude rather than being in a group, because I find it sometimes hard to resonate, and I need to have self-care because this is a very important time on our planet right now. We have a galactic community that is in our solar system as I speak. They've coined this 3-eye atlas. It is not an asteroid. It is not a rock. It is not a mass. It is a galactic, if you want to call it a ship, but it's more of a consciousness. It's a community consciousness that is now allowing itself to be witnessed. But what it's doing, it's here to take a pulse of humanity, where humanity is, as a recording. I happen to be also I don't follow. I don't like if Yeshua, but I know I was part of the Essenes, My soul experienced a lifetime as an Essene in the time of Yeshua, probably before that and afterwards. In France, where I know I had a traumatic life, many lifetimes. Very, very, very brutal, traumatic because of my beliefs. Subsequently, it's affected how I have gone about my life here on planet Earth this lifetime. Because of the things that I know and love and believe to be true, I have kept quite quiet because of an innate need to protect myself. Didn't want to be strung up. Didn't want to be torn apart, burned, decapitated for my beliefs, exiled. So I have stayed quiet until just a few years ago, where I decided that I wanted to, or not wanted to, it was time for me to trust again. I have written books, and the books themselves are a reflection, almost a diary of my experiences. But I didn't know it at the time I was writing it, just thought it was my imagination. But the characters and the storyline itself and the ancient beings, the indigenous of our planet, the animals, the totems, the spirit animals, all the different feminine goddesses, the storyline itself was a memory, is a memory, and it could be a future. But we know that the days we're living in resonate with our past lives, our future lives, our galactic lives, because it's all on a continuum. It is not one event happening in an isolated moment. Everything is still occurring, and basically everything is now being magnetized and attracted to our lifetime here on planet Earth, this lifetime, this time frame, in this elevated timeline that we are in, our past lives. Those of that we have been are resonating and are shifting and changing. Those galactic beings that are I'm sure I have a Lyran aspect, an Andromedan, my dragon for certain, Crystal. It's my dragon's name, and I also am another dragon, Nithra, who is more global, who is part of the Red Dragon Awakening, a tribe. As I reflect on these times in our moment and stay high-minded and stay loving and present, the unfortunate incident that occurred 3 days ago in Utah is a distraction. Not to belittle it. Certainly not to belittle it, because that was I was a beautiful man. I didn't agree with everything he said, but that's not important. He was harmless. That's a distraction. And it distracted the nation and the world from what is now in our solar system. And other events that will be occurring, I am certain of it, are in play, if they're called black swan events, red flag events, for distraction, to distract humanity from their purpose, to stay loving and kind and generous, compassionate, and to understand that we are sovereign, and I have complete ability to heal my body. I don't need a med bed. There are people on this planet, I know in my heart, that would benefit from these high technology healing centers. Yes, our planet is moving towards that, if much of it isn't there. But it has been shielded from us by the powers that have been distorting our reality for thousands of years, who have failed, who have lost the war. The reason why Trump has now deemed Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of War, no, excuse me, the Department of War, not the Secretary, excuse me. It's not the DOD now, it's the Department of Wars, because there is a war going on between light and dark. It is not a war between Americans or Europeans, Africans, Asians. It has nothing to do with the human beings on our planet. It has to do with these energies, light and dark. We've been at war for billions of years. It is coming to a head. And we, as those who are awakened, I implore you to stay on the high road. Take the high road. Doesn't mean that you are better than. It doesn't mean that you know more than. It means that you are in a frequency that is high. That is what our planet is. It doesn't even need it right now, because we're already on the trajectory of ascension, human ascension. But it's what your soul is imploring for each and every one of you, to stay calm, hold the line. And if these distractions pull you away, of course you're going to pay attention for a time, because a lot of information is coming soon, and it will really be hard to handle. But just remember that God is good. You are a creative being. You are sovereign. Your soul is not a corporation, a name on a birth certificate. It's not who I am. My name is Paula as a human, but my higher power, my soul, all my aspects, my monadic self, my royal self, because I am royal, I am of royalty as you are, my Andromedan self, is not owned by anyone or anything. But I did choose to come here to experience this and to be a wayshower for anyone who is terrified of what is coming, because it's going to be okay. We will be all right. There is hope if you stay heart-centered and try to just witness these events. But if you're drawn into them and you decide that you need to be outspoken and cruel, you're only harming yourself. You're only pulling the shadows towards you. Okay? If you stay in a calm and loving space, you can still have up your boundaries where you say, no, that does not resonate with who I am. You don't have to be led around like a sheep. You do not have to follow the masses. You also don't need to get the microphone out and yell and scream in the streets against the other side. That doesn't do any good. It might make you feel powerful at that moment, but it's attracting the shadows to you. Those voices that tell you that there are evil people, and it's your job to be just like them, because that's the only way that they'll hear you. Those are not true words. Our beloved Yeshua was here to show us. Some people believe in that, some do not. I happen to believe that. And I am a gentle creature, yet I am a fierce creature as well. I can be both. I don't need to be harmful, but I can be powerful in my presence. But I still must remain humble and grateful, and to remember who I am. And if you have any thought, how can I best serve the light today? How can I best serve my community, my neighborhood, my family, myself today? Is to stay calm and to know that you are dearly loved, very, very highly valued citizen of this planet, of the galactic community. And you are here of service, yes, to hold the line when the world does fall apart, which it already is. It's falling apart, as is necessary because of the evil threads that have been woven through every system imaginable. It must fall apart, but it can be a beautiful catastrophe. It can be there's beauty in the chaos if you can see through it and know that we are safe and protected. This is a benevolent universe that we are in. You can pay attention to the news. I would advise you not to. The legacy media is corrupt. They are scripted. They are being given a narrative that will terrify humans. It's not giving us the news. It's giving us they're feeding off your fear. So if you turn off those news sources and find different avenues, alternative media that is high-minded, there are those out there. I listen to Alex Collier. I love Alex. He's a very warm and compassionate being. I listen to David Wilcock. I sometimes listen to Jenny Lee, although I really do appreciate her platform, but sometimes I don't always get the answers I'm kind of leaning towards, meaning she does speak in circles, and that's just her way. She's a remote viewer, and I know he is very well intentioned. Carrie Kay, she has a very positive outlook, and she's very wise. And let me come up with one more voice that I tend to listen to. I did listen to Ishmael Perez for a while. He helped awaken me to my galactic story. Of course, Cryon. There it is, right there. And Jeffrey Hoppe with Crimson Circle. High energetic beings. Very, and Greg, oh, excuse me. Wow, I've listened to him forever. And his name just eluded me. Just went bing. Bruce Lipton. These are all very, in my opinion, out of my playbook, because I've been down this road for more years than I even know. Started in the early 1980s. And even before that, because I knew who I was. I knew who I was. So with that, I'll ring the bell. And just to let you know that I love you. I don't know you, but I resonate if you resonate with my words. And it's now 3333 on the video. Very appropriate, very high-minded numbers. Look to the skies. Be out at night and listen and watch the skies. They are changing. Stand barefoot in the grass. Hug a tree. Love your children. Watch your children. Protect your children. Always, that's our job as parents. As our job is, even if not a parent of your natural child, children need to be paid attention to because they are our future. And love them and let them be themselves. Do not try to fix them or change them. Yes, you can protect them, but that does not mean you need to control them. Nod to those that you pass. Give them a smile. You never know, you might change their world. And play well together. Find your eagle's nest. Climb up into that eagle's nest and watch from above. You don't need to be you don't need to feel like you are being self-centered by not engaging. You are self-caring by not engaging. But we need to witness. and we need to hold the line and stay calm. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Namaste.